Hello once again. Just a moment. All right. Thank you, everybody, for sitting through the event so far. I hope we've been able to answer your questions. And of course, you can always reach out to Sahamati for more clarifications. Having said that, let me introduce you to Rahul Bora, who is, AVP Signet Infotech. Signet has, while I have asked Rahul for a little bit of an introduction on him, I think I will take the liberty to introduce him with my own words. He said he's a techno-functional person who's into implementation of a lot of initiatives across different sectors, but also from our perspective, he's also been a great knowledge bank of you know making us understand a lot of a lot of details on the lending side. He is also very actively involved in clarifying doubts on the GST piece, and also Signet itself has a lot of a very good solution for the MSME side. So who better than them to showcase their product on what they already have and what they think they will have once GST goes live as an FIP on account aggregator. So I hope Rahul is here already. Just a moment. Yes, Rahul, are you here? If you
Hey,
could put on your video and your audio both.
yeah, hi,
Hello. So
hi.
I did a brief introduction. I hope it was fine.
Yes, 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 yes.
So over to you. Please go ahead and present your services. I'll
Sure,
hide my.
sure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. Thanks, Ruchi. Good evening to all. I would say it's a long day and it's a learning session also. We got to know more from the uh, stakeholders about the what the things are coming in the GST and account aggregator ecosystem per se and all. Just to cut short, I'll directly move to the screen sharing session. Let me share my screen and I'll showcase you what all we have, what is Signet all about. I hope my screen is visible to all. Uh, okay, so Signet, obviously, Signet is an IT software company. I would say IT services company, but we are into the services and product segments both. Uh, and as far as the engagement with the Sahamati, we are account aggregator TSP also. Recently got an RBI approval for the account aggregator also. In principle, approval has already been given by RBI to Signet, one of entity of Signet. Uh, we have various product offerings in terms of the I would say SME, MSME, or the large corporate segments and all. We are prominently, I would say, in India, we are one of the largest GSP in India, where we got shortlisted by GST in 2017, and in and out now we have covered other geographies also in terms of the indirect tax platform per se. So we are into the UAE market, we are into the European market, we are into the UK market also for the VAT or the GST filing process and all. We are into the Saudi also for invoice service per se, where the invoice has been rolled out as a phase one in the Saudi. Uh, Apart from that, we created a in and out different product also. Like in the digital transformation side, we already have our own signing platform, blockchain based signing platform. We also have our own RPA platform, automation ways. We have been shortlisted by GSTN as an IRP also, private IRP also, where the MSME SME can come to the Signet application and generate the invoices. like how currently NIC system is being used. Now, from a private player side, Signet is also being registered as an IRP. We also have our digital engineering services also, where a few of the TSP, account aggregator TSP services are leveraged from those ecosystem, digital engineering services per se. Uh, in terms of the current ecosystem, what the AI ecosystem is all about, obviously we know that there is a data which is coming from the consent based. The data has a standard schema and all, but it's all about raw data. Obviously one part which has been already addressed to the account aggregator, but how the TSP comes into picture is the understanding the raw data and creating some insights, some kind of an derivation, so that informed decisions can be taken care. So in that per se, one of the points which needs to be considered in an ecosystem where the TSP roles are coming into picture. Uh, uh, Even though the data, as we also heard about that, the 5 MB size of the data can come as a part of the from the GSTN. It is also coming into the GSP ecosystem also, but there the requirement and the top process, I mean, there the ask is different. But here the turnaround time is obviously required, because we need to understand the 5 MB set of data as a part of raw informations which we are coming, and understanding the raw, understanding the derived form. uh, Processed data is also unstructured, I would say, because right now none of the FIUs have proper storage, or I would say getting this data in a proper format. I mean, even though the bank statement informations are being used by many FIUs, whether it is a form of the digital statement, or maybe if the scan copy and all. But right now here we are talking about the data which is coming in the structured format. Now we wanted to process those data, so that our BRE or the rule engine can use that data, and derived or the multiple insights can be generated from that. And also coming from the multiple sources, right now account aggregator is sorry, bank data is coming. GSTN will also come. There more FI is also FI will also onboard on the account aggregator, and the more data will come. So all of these are the key points where the AI ecosystem per se, the FIUs or the FIPs should leverage. Obviously, from the FIU side, more of the technology piece is required. Uh, so, as a part of the today's session, I'll just cover up the wherever the GST data can be used as a part of the use case. What all are data points which we'll be getting, and how these data can be used for analyzing or for getting more derived information. So obviously one of the key component which we have come up with is the GRC score. It is a compliance score. Obviously it is all about the basic profile informations and the written filing information which will be available as a part of the account aggregator ecosystem. So there are four part in that: basic profile, written filing informations. We all know that there is a GSTR1 information and 3B information. So this particular score is being generated based on the basic profile and the written filing information of any taxpayer. What all use cases we have is that one of the use case is the loan approval process. When I say loan approval, it is like for the NTC customer, where the new to credit entities are there, and you wanted to use that, and he already is having in the GST ecosystem from last 1 year or 6 months and down the line. Then obviously there is a more use case of that, where there is a score available based on the written filing trend available, based on the written filing trend. If he's paying that liability to the government in time or not, based on that a score is available, and we can use that score from an NTC per se. Currently for the new to credit, obviously bank statement is being used from analysis per se, but the cost of that and operational cost is very high in that. But when we talk about the GST data uses, then obviously basic profile and the written filing information can be used in the approval process also. Same can be used at the monitoring purpose also, like in account aggregator we have a frequency setup, that one time or the periodic. So in the periodic process also we can have this particular concept of having the basic profile and the filing information in the GST, in the account aggregate, from the account aggregate ecosystem from the FIP, and we can use that as a part of a loan monitoring per se also. And also to reduce the NPAs and all, because it's a compliance indicator whether the person is filing in time to the government or not, what is their basic profile, how they are managing their informations in the GST, when as and when they are changing or not. So those part of informations are being used in the GRC score concept. Now when we talk about the GSTR1 and 3B informations is available, then what sort of intelligence can be created from the raw data is the, obviously we know that there is a GSTR1 transaction level data. So we have the geographical sales, interstate intrastate bifurcations. Export information will also part of that. Then you have the rate wise bifurcations of that, of the data. What is their annual tax liability, what is the monthly tax liability, what is their trend in terms of the month on month sales growth and all, how the intercompany transactions are there, whether the customer belongs to within the state or outside state, what is my product summary, my total top 10 customers, or we can go beyond that, all of my customers and their value contribution in the ecosystem, and the filing trend of that customer, and filing trend of the borrower itself. So these are all the very basic data points, or I would say from the GSTR and 3B can be created. It's on a high level I am showcasing you, but I'll show you one of a detailed report also for that, which gives you more insights uh, from that lens. Uh, Now one of the uses also, currently bank data is also coming into the account aggregator, and once the GSTN will come into picture, then we can create a GST bank statement correlation report also. I'll show you one of a report also which we are right now providing to the lenders. In that you will come to know the actual payment analysis of any of the sales transaction at a buyer wise. So I have, let's say, 10 or 15 buyers, and how they are making my payment. If I have 100 of buyers, and on a monthly basis I am getting credit from those buyers. So what is my sales and what is my buyer's credit, that can be identified by the lenders. And just to I mean just On a very high level, you can say that I'll be able to know the cash flow cycle of that, whether the payment cycle is 45 days or 60 days or more than that. Accordingly a decision can be made. So it's completely a fuzzy logic based, because right now the bank data doesn't give the narrations with a proper party name. It is all at a truncated stage and all. So we have created a fuzzy logic based NLP algorithm which matches the GST party wise information with the banking credit and all, bank narration information and all, and a rolling period analysis on a periodic payment cycle. That of if I have if I go with a quarterly payment cycle, then whether the payment is coming in a quarterly payment cycle for my past quarter returns or not, for past quarter sales or not. So that's how the entire this is one of a use which we can do from the current ecosystem, where the bank statement is there, and once the GST is live, then this can be created. In terms of the inferences or the detailed further reports analysis, then you can say that multiple data analysis can be done, where the borrower's data and the buyer's data analysis can be done. You have the ratios, you can create the ratios of buyer to buyer with the total sales growth year on year. Bank statement data can be used from the check EMI bounces if we are getting that, and total banking credit with the GST turnover can be utilized. And from the borrower side, we can go for the analysis of the borrower with their contributions and all. So that's the key inferences. Now in terms of the use cases side, one of the use cases, as we recently heard about the GST Sahay model, which is the financing platform. So we also have our own financing platform where MSME can come. Here one more layer will come. We are now IRP also. Now the from the IRP, the MSME can generate the invoices. We can leverage the same set of flow into the ecosystem, where the MSME can come to the financing platform and request for financing. Obviously, their various lenders will come in, will be there, and from the account aggregator, the informations which is basically required. Like for example, I already have my GST data onto my in my GST network as an FIP, and if I trigger a consent that I want to check my last 30 days of GST data, the platform can fetch that data and they can apply loan against those invoices. And then it goes to the one of our platform where the analysis will be done. We also have our underwriting rule engine, and from that rule engine, a score and the recommended offer can go to the lender, and lender can leverage that offer along with additional data parameters. And they can also run their own rule, and can offer a financing opportunity to the MSME. So that's the one of a use case, as we all know that. Second use case is very very prominent right now. There are existing I would say there are many financing platforms are there. Banks are also having their own financing platform, invoice financing platform. And from that invoice financing platform, if the verification is required to validate whether that invoices or the invoice information is accurate or not, then obviously trigger can be made from the financiers onto the AI ecosystem, and the informations of, let's say, past 30 days invoices can come to the can come to the platform, and uh, the data available into the lender ecosystem can be validated with the data which is available onto the GSTN ecosystem, and if it is matches, then one of the authenticate I would say one of the authentication authenticity of the invoice can be traced. That's the additional I mean, one of the additional verifications which we have. uh, some of the capabilities, I would say, from the fintech account aggregator ecosystem, we have a TSP in all the three categories of the Sahmati membership portal, where the data standard TSP, user experience TSP, and data analytics TSP. So right now, GST, as I mentioned, bank statement, we do that. As and when the new FI will come into the ecosystem, or the more data type will come into ecosystem, yeah, I mean, we have the solution available. We just need the data from those ecosystems. Right now, there are mode of providing the informations are in different mode. It is not from the account aggregator, but let's say when the credit card information, credit card statement details will come, then we can leverage that also. We already have an analytical model available for analyzing that. Once the PCR details will come, then the bureau analysis can be created from that also. In terms of the user experience, as I mentioned, we have a services division where we are creating the journeys. We have a UI UX architect. If you wanted to have a holistic view of one platform, can cover your other multiple lending product. So we are providing such kind of services also to some of the NBFCs and all. And as a part of the data standard TSPs, if any new NBFC or any financial institutes which are going to be, or which wanted to be on the AI ecosystem, then we have the FIP FIU module. We understand the data standards also, because now we are account aggregator also as in principally approved. So the same understanding or the same learning can be utilized to have the different FIP or FIU on board on the account aggregator ecosystem. Some of the solutions, we have our own billing solution, which is simply handling the on cloud invoice generation part and all, where the system can leverage them to generate invoices, e-way bill, e-invoices from the same platform. We also have our own accounting package. It is also being approved by GSTN. Then we have our own invoicing tool, which is on premise. If any SME or MSME wants to have a in-house invoicing tool, then they can leverage that. And the very vast is the indirect tax platform, where the GST return filing, e-way bill generation, e-invoice generations, payment automations, vendor payment automations, all of these part of this account aggregate, this indirect tax platform. That's all from the presentation side. I'll go to the platform where I can show you some of the offerings which we right now providing. As I mentioned, we have the GST analysis. Obviously, right now the GST is not part of the ecosystem, but as once the consent, because the system is already having a consent framework, where the consent can be triggered to the customer from the system itself. And here we already have a consent link generation process and all, where the consent can be triggered and the data can be pulled as a different frequency period and all. So once the consent is triggered, once the account aggregator will come, then the same application will help the lenders to get the consent from the account aggregator. And once the data is available, a similar kind of report can be generated, where the filing trend of that customer, their sales turnover, their so obviously purchase will not come. Let me just share these different report. Okay. Yeah. Based on the frequency, then the based on the period which we have passed, as in account aggregator 18 months of data can be available. I'm right now showcasing of the 3 months data. So you have the sales turnover details, sales summary informations, intrastate sales, purchase sales, month on month purchase, because here in the purchase side, 3B will give you the summary level informations. Then you have the intrastate sales informations, your sales bifurcations based on the B2B and B2C transactions, document numbers, how many invoices I am or how many orders I am getting on month basis. Then you have a previous year and current year trend. If I'm looking for the data of, let's say, 18 month, then for the same period, if we can filter out the data for understanding the month on month, yearly, monthly sale. Then you have the locations where my customers belongs to, any credit note of the sales return is there or not. Then my top 10 customers and their value contributions in terms of my total sale. uh, then I have a product wise informations. Round tripping will also be available. Sales with the same party and purchase with the, obviously right now purchase is not available, but as and when the purchase will come, then this round tripping transaction report will also be handy for the lenders. uh, how I'm making my payment to the payment or the tax to the government, whether I'm paying through cash or I am utilizing my ITC. Then the product wise information is also there. So this report is currently generated through the different framework and all, different consent framework, but this report will, a similar kind of report will be available, or and the derived data will be available for the lenders once the raw data is coming from the account aggregator. So that's the one of our report. And as I mentioned, to get the score, let me show you one of a score of one entity. So we do have the GRC score piece available, where the score can be generated against GSTN number. Uh, So this score is giving you identification. Obviously, the score is showing you as 100%, but it's all depend on how the person is filing their return. So you can see that there is no red flag here. So that means the score is 100. If any return is filed late, then how much is the late and all, based on that the score gives you the output. So that's the second report is which I was talking about. And as I mentioned about one of a use case, which is the invoice verification, which is currently the lenders who already have a who already have a their own financing platform, invoice financing platform, discounting platform, or any such kind of platform, supply chain financing. Then the invoice verification can be done. We just need to get the consent, and once the consent is available, we have our own format to upload the file. And we also have the API available. Then the data can come to our platform, and when we run this report, it will give me the two kind of information, whether the transaction is in the match status or in the mismatch status. So you can see that the data, let me download this report in PDF. So in the screen, if you can see that one of the transaction is in the match status. So when I click on this one, it will show me uh, output. Yeah. So this is as per the system, and this is in the GST network. So there is no issue in that. But if I go and check this particular screen, then there is an issue in the value. GSTN shows 669,000, and the financer system is showing 1,69,000. So if you are not validating this invoice from the GSTN, then obviously the lender will lend on the 1,69 rupees, not on the 69,000 rupees. So that's the one of the use case which we have created, which is already running in some of the banks. Some of the banks are already utilizing this verification service from Signet. This is kind of a report which will available to the lender as a part of the audit report. They wanted to keep it, or any different form they wanted to keep in. So you can see that there is a mismatch in the value, and the same thing is as a reason it is also mentioned here. Now, the another option which I mentioned about the GST and the bank statement analysis report. So I'll show you one of Excel for this one. So this is one of Excel where there is a party name, there's the PAN number, legal name, and the bank statement. So currently, the consent is available for. Assuming that there is a consent given from the one of a bank only, and there are two bank account which is available. So one of them is showing that the consent is available for one bank only. There is another account which is not available. Now you can see that there is a detailed buyer wise analysis is available. What is there in the GST, what is there in the bank statement, how much is the value and all. That's a month on month basis. Now, if you wanted to see the overall that, okay, for the particular period of that, let's say for the entire financial year, you have taken the GST data, and for the 1 year, you have already taken the bank statement data. Now, at a party level, also, you can see that for this party, the total GST sale is somewhere around 31 lakh, and the value it is showing is the 24 lakh. So still there is a recoverable balance available, which is not yet come from the party. So that's how the entire analysis is available. We also have the rolling period analysis, which gives you the another angle to this data, that okay, there is a monthly GST sale of somewhere around 66 lakh 56,000, and the bank credit shows me somewhere around 14 lakh. So that means I have a excess amount in my, I would say there's a excess amount in my bank. But there is a chances that here you can see that in the September month, I got a sale of 9 lakh, and in the bank statement it is showing 94 lakh. In bank statement is showing just 40 lakh. So there is a 53 lakh of the balance recoverable. Now, if you understand that as a part of the MSME ecosystem, or the SME MSME ecosystem, there is a 45 days credit period and all. So what we have done is that we have created another report which gives you another angle to this particular data, that on a quarterly basis, what is my GST sale and how much money I am getting in the quarterly basis. So you can see that very minimal balance recoverable is there. So that means the party is getting the money in time. But as you go further, then there is a trend that okay, at certain moment the recoverable is increasing, and again there is a decrease in that. So that means whatever money was left out in this particular financial in this particular quarters, it has been recovered in the further other quarters. So that means I have a excess money in my account. I got the credit more than what I have sold. So that's how this analysis gives. Once the supplier information will come, then this also analysis will help in as a part of the supplier wise analysis. So assuming that if the Asta info system, in the entire year I have all 2,000 of purchase, and I have made a payment from the bank statement, from the bank account, and it shows the 2,000. So that's the analysis which is available from the entire from the GST and the bank statement report. So that is the piece which we have from the from the ecosystem per se. I think I'm done with my any query. Anybody wants to ask anything, I'm happy to address that.
Rahul, I see just one question asking you to showcase the rule engine demo once. Uh, if you want, you can take this up separately with
Yeah, yeah,
Mufaddal.
yeah.
Yeah, Mufaddal from Carix. I can send
Okay,
you
okay,
the
okay.
same link.
Sure, sure, sure. You can send the details. We'll do it separately.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't think we have any more questions, but this was very, very, very helpful. I'm sure for the audience. Thank you so much, Rahul, for your
Thank
time
you.
and for telling the audience exactly what is available and how they can get in touch with you. I hope
Sure, sure.
you've put your contact out
I'll
there.
put my, yeah,
So
yeah.
you can just put it in a message so that if anybody needs to get in touch with you, they can do so.
Sure, sure, sure.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for being a great audience today. I hope the session was helpful. We will be putting up all the recordings of the all the sessions, which is the keynote, Shalini session, and both the TSP spotlights on our YouTube channel uh, by tomorrow or day after latest. And if there are any questions, please reach out to us. Feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much. Have a great evening ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Suji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.